Love is a liberty. Come close. Come closer. Welcome to the Scandalous Scandal recap on this Thursday live, right after the East Coast broadcast of Scandal. Love is a liberty. We're looking for you to take part in tonight's conversation because this is going to be crazy. Welcome to the Scandalous Scandal recap. I'm Larry Brown Jr. This is season 5, episode 6 of Scandal. Get out of jail free. I'm joined by my great friend Janiyah Wright. Janiyah, how are you?
I'm good, LBJ. Tonight's show was bananas.
Oh my gosh, like
I loved it.
BANANAS bananas.
I loved it. I loved tonight's episode, LBJ. I cannot wait to hop in.
Well, let's just dive right into it because I feel like we could do this scandal recap for like 2 hours tonight.
Totally.
And we do not have 2 hours to spare.
We cannot. We cannot.
It's not a full-time gig that we're doing here. So, yeah. So listen, folks, if you're watching us live, thank you so much. Use the hashtag if you're sharing or talking about this to join the conversation with hashtag Scandal Recap. If you're watching us live on Google Plus and you're returning, Gladiator, welcome back. If this is your first time, we love you and appreciate you like we love and appreciate everyone else. You can also utilize the Q&A feature if we're live, and we can bring your question and your answer, your comment, whatever you want to say up to the crowd to continue the conversation throughout our Scandal recap. Out the gate, Janiyah, we've got people in here. D Hill is greeting everybody. D Hill has been waiting for tonight, Janiyah. Let me tell you, she has been online waiting for all of this. She says, "Hey everyone." Then Yolanda Baker is like, "Oh snap!" at the end of the episode.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Then someone else gave me a shout out. Glenda Wyndham. Glenda, how are you tonight? LBJ. You were right. Glenda said, LBJ, you was right about tonight's show. You was right. You better break that verb. That's very good.
Right. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yes.
Yes. Glenda Wyndham again says, "Hey everyone, let's go ahead and get started." Janiyah, we started with one of my favorite muses really throughout this season.
I knew you would love it, LBJ.
I love it. I love the Liberty intro. I love it.
Your favorite narrator returned tonight, LBJ. And all I could think of here in my home in New York was you in your home in Maryland typing away, taking notes on our little speeches so that you can reenact it for us. Please, LBJ, the show opened with one of your favorite narrators. Take it away. Give it to us, LBJ.
Oh my gosh. So I don't even recall everything that she said. Let me just say that there was so much going on in that moment. They used Sally Langston as the narrator to really kind of carry that scene that was going on. And a few of the sound bites that I captured go a little like this. Of course, there's "Love is a Liberty," and we meet her on the set of her Inside the Beltway TV show. But one of my favorite sound bites is when she says, "We see you, Grant family, with your criminal things." And with Olivia Pope and all her minions. I love that. She said, "We see you, Grant family. We see you." And then she goes on to say, and then as they're continuing on with the impeachment proceedings, she says, "We, the lovers of liberty, we salute you." And she stood up on the set and saluted everyone, the Senate committee for the impeachment committee. And then she goes, my favorite part for Lovers of Liberty with Sally Langston tonight is when so there's one other part where at the end we see her again before Olivia is scheduled to testify before the committee. But my favorite soundbite from Sally tonight, Janiyah, what had to be when Sally says to the president, "I'm talking to you, Mr. President." She said, "I'm talking to you, Mr. President. The day of I call this the day of judgment, the day of your impeachment." She says, "Ask not for whom the bell tolls, Mr. President, it tolls for thee." I said, "Oh shoot! Oh shoot!" We were kids like, "Ooh, beast! You got beasted out, Mr. President." Oh, so good.
LBJ, Kimmy J in the chat is really feeling your reenactment there. She said, "Hello, lovers of liberty," and yes, as you were doing your reenactment. So LBJ, Sally Langston tonight, she was the perfect narrator for this episode because this entire episode really circled around the Senate Judiciary Committee hearings that were related to the potential impeachment of who? Fitzgerald Grant. So the entire episode were little storylines around getting ready for people to testify. and most importantly, Olivia, right? So, OBJ, let's talk about this in the Judiciary Committee for a moment. The very first person that was called to testify in this episode was who? Your best friend and mine, Melly. Okay? Now, you'll recall that Melly has a strange relationship to this whole proceeding because she actually betrayed Fitz. Can we use the word betrayed at this point when
You
there's
know what?
so,
Go for it. Go
you
for it. Why not?
she literally, LBJ, she said, you know what? The jig is up. I'm sick and tired of the shenanigans. And she went and partnered with some of her Senate buddies. And they went ahead and started these proceedings to get Fitz impeached. And some of the pivotal information that was giving this impeachment proceeding actual momentum, it was coming from Melly, right? The story of the ring that Olivia was wearing, we talked a lot about last episode. LBJ, these are the nuggets that Melly was providing. So here's Melly thinking she's in cahoots with her little Senate Judiciary Committee buddies. And they're like, hey, girlfriend, I'm paraphrasing. Hey, girlfriend, we're going to get you prepped. And they're giving her the list of the questions, LBJ, and she's reading them through. Oh, okay. And we're going to stick to these questions. Well, as long as we do, and I like to use a Southern accent, well, as long as we do, we'll be just fine. Well, guess what, LBJ? They didn't stick to the list of questions. They did not appropriately prep Melly for her testimony in front of the committee. LBJ, they blindsided her, took her right out. LBJ, did I lose you? Oh, goodness.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry. I was responding to some of the gladiators on the plus page. And yes, they did blindside her. You know, I'm a man. You know, sometimes
I know. No, my
but
screen.
Yes,
I thought my screen froze.
no,
No, you
totally
were
it did
just
not.
frozen in time.
Yes, I was
How
talking to Kat Harlem, who hasn't joined us live in a while, so she's so excited that she's here. Hey, Kat Harlem, welcome,
Hey,
welcome,
Kat
welcome.
Harlem.
But yes, Melly was blindsided. She was ambushed, and while all of this is going on live on CNN, live on C-SPAN, live on every single network that is carrying these impeachment proceedings, we see the gladiators gathered in Olivia's apartment. Then there's Gabby Abbey Red at the White House with Cyrus and the president, and everyone has this epiphany. Oh no, they're about to ambush the first lady. And here's where we meet a Melly we haven't seen in a very long time. And that is Melanie, that's naive Melly. We have not seen naive Melly in a while. And Melly sat there and looked those people in the face and believed that they were not going to ambush her. As soon as they set the story straight and gave her the setup and said, so are you saying this? Are you saying that you did not know? And she said yes. And she's answering all these questions in the affirmative. It's like, you dummy, you don't see this coming. And what do? They lay out the whammy and reveal that Melly signed an affidavit with Janine Locke, who is a former interest of the president. Remember, everyone, back a few seasons ago, she was a woman who worked on the president's campaign. And Melly essentially said that I will make your life hell if you say that you slept with the president, if you mess with him, and I'll give you $2 million to essentially go away. And that comes out, and it came out of Melly's mouth in front of this committee because they had her read the highlighted portions of the testimony in front, not just in front of the people who were gathered in the room. No. But this is in front of the American people. The American people who will eventually someday, in Melly's hopes and dreams, the American people who will vote for her for president of the United States of America, lovers of liberty. Listen to us as we are talking to you, okay? And so then there goes. So Melly essentially has perjured herself in front of the United States of America. Will she ever be president? Her hopes and dreams at this point are now all gone out the window for being president of the United States of America.
And LBJ, I have to say, and I love the Jackie O 2006 in the chat said, Melly looked like a puppy dog amongst Clydesdales when the committee shot the deposition at her. She's not ready for prime time. LBJ, my heart went out to Melly. You know, Melly's entire experience in this show and in this presidency, LBJ, her experience is always reacting to. You know, every time she thinks she's in the driver's seat, LBJ, somebody comes and gives her the good elbow. And LBJ, once again, she's in the passenger seat. And sometimes she's hanging on out the window for dear life. And so once again, Melly, you have no friends whatsoever. You have now been blindsided yet again. So LBJ, I don't think she technically perjured herself because what she said was, I don't recall when they started to ask for some of the details. So she actually protected herself from perjury. But what she did not do is protect herself from, really looking like who? Boo Boo the fool. Right? So it was apparent to everybody that she was using the magic phrase that you use when you got. So that's exactly, Melly, you got tonight. And LBJ, you know who else the committee thought they were going to get tonight? It was OPA and Associates. They called Huff, they called Gabby, they called your best boo Quinn. Okay, called them all in to testify. And there we were in the OPA war room, watching them all prep. And who's prepping them? None other than our favorite Olivia. She's prepping them like they're her clients, LBJ.
Yes.
She's walking around the perimeter of the room in her I'm Superwoman walk era, and they're all sitting around the room. She's quizzing them. She's coaching them on how to answer the questions. And LBJ, they did an amazing job. They sat there, they stayed on script, and when they were there in front of the committee, LBJ, whenever there was a question that they couldn't answer, just something they couldn't account for, when they finally made it to that point, LBJ, do you know where they pointed the finger? They pointed it directly at Columbus Short's character. What is his name? I forgot.
Harrison Wright. Harrison Wright. Janiyah, let me tell you this. I was live on Twitter. If you
I couldn't believe it.
Account at Larry Brown Jr. listed right here at the bottom of the right here. Right.
I couldn't believe it.
Twitter account. And you scroll through my mention and through my tweets. When this situation was going on, I said and I tweeted. Let me read you the exact words on the tweet. I want to make sure Lovers of Liberty. Let me stop calling.
Please do not call us that.
Y'all are not Lovers of Liberty.
We are no friends of Sally Langston.
So she says. I tweet and I quote. It says, hello, ellipsis. Harrison set up the entire Janine Locke fix, right? Question mark. Blame the dead guy, hashtag scandal. Why did I say that, people? I said that because it was the best way to get out of the entire thing. I told you, I am a gladiator, okay? I know how to fix stuff. And that was the perfect opportunity to get out of jail free. Hello, hashtag monopoly. That's what's going on. That's what's going on, you see? Olivia Pope has a monopoly on this entire thing.
Yes.
It's working. We call the monopoly something here on the Scandal Recap, people. And if this is your first time, we're going to introduce you to something called the Nectar Factor.
It's real.
What the monopoly is. They came in and they, like you said, they stayed on script, Janiyah, and it worked. And it won. Shout out though to Harrison Wright, the late Harrison Wright from Scandal. When I remember when he left the show, several people created obituaries from his funeral, and it was pretty. It was a pretty funny situation. But I love the entire shakedown of OPA and Associates in front of the committee, Janiyah.
Yes, yes.
Meanwhile, while they are being questioned, they are trying to figure out and strategize behind the scenes. How are we going to get Olivia and Fitz not to testify against each other? Aha, we've got it. Light bulb. Let's get them to marry each other so that way they won't have to testify against each other because of spousal privilege. And Cyrus and Fitz called Olivia to the Oval Office to say, hey, look, we need to talk to you about something.
Yes.
I can't talk to you about anything. They're like, no, boo-boo. Honey, boo-boo, child, sit down. Your nectar's so good. Fitz wants to marry you. And so Fitz and Olivia, they present the situation to Olivia. She's like, no, I don't want this. I didn't want it this way. But they're like, you can't testify against each other if you're married. They stop the entire conversation. Olivia's kind of like in thought, and we kind of leave the scene there. And we come back later in the episode to Fitz looking for this do-over with Olivia to really consider, to get her to consider marrying him. Why? Because they, number one, it will prevent them from testifying against each other. And two, they can now be together forever. They can now have that house in Vermont, where Vermont is for lovers. They could, Virginia's for lovers. Okay. Anyway.
But you got the gist. You got the name of the episode where we were introduced to the Vermont house was Vermont is for lovers. So that's what you're recalling.
Exactly. It's the other V state, right?
Exactly.
So Fitz, in an effort to do it over again, he invites Olivia to the Truman balcony. Olivia walks through the bedroom. I know all the ladies are going all kinds of goo gaga because Fitz is in his tuxedo with his presidential lapel pin on, and Olivia walks onto the balcony, onto the rose petals, and there's candles lit all over. I'm one of the people the tourists could see it from the street, though, in the White House. They never deal with that kind of stuff on the show. But so they go into the web.
LBJ, no, we have to pause there for a second.
Oh
So much
gosh.
scandalous stuff has taken place on this balcony. And every time it happens, I am sitting there thinking, where do they think they are?
Yes.
LBJ, there is no part of the White House that you could not get around and kind of take a peek.
Yes.
LBJ, I don't know what shroud of what Harry Potter blanket they think they're putting over this balcony. The world can see everything you're doing. I think it's just one of those things that the show uses the balcony because it's a beautiful background and it is iconic for us as Americans, the balcony of the White House. But those scenes are always just completely implausible to me because there is some shenanigans that takes place on that balcony in this show. Completely unfounded.
Full on shenanigans, and tonight in Olivia's eyes was a shenanigan as well, Janiyah, because Fitz is like, "Hey boo, look, everything is good. The nectar's great. I want to continue to tap the tree forever. You know, when you have the sap in the tree, you have to tap and let the sap just flow." So Fitz wants to make this a forever thing with Olivia. Finally, we can stop living in all kinds of sin and debauchery and lasciviousness, and we can get married. And lo and behold, in pure Olivia fashion, her eyes well up with tears. She has a slight lip quiver. She's like, "I don't want this." And she's like, wait. Pump the brakes, because this cannot be. I've gone through all of this for you, ma'am. I had White House aides calling presidential libraries today to present this ring to you that belongs to Betsy Ross.
Yes.
Hello, the American flag woman, Betsy Ross. Okay?
That's all we know about her as Americans.
Oh man.
She's the American flag lady. I'm sure she did other stuff. We don't know what it is. She's the American flag lady.
Yes, but what did you think though? Tell me then. So once he presents the flag, I'm going to say the flag. Once he presents the
flag ring.
Tell me though, what was going through your mind as a woman watching this? You know, all you all tend to quiver when the whole Fitz thing and Olivia thing goes down. But he told her,
don't go throwing those quivers out there, LBJ. Let's just slow our roll here a little bit, okay? For me, it's the phoniest thing ever to pretend that this whole thing has a romantic impetus. It does not. This proposal is functional. It is to keep Olivia from being able to testify. All Fitz is trying to do is to coerce Olivia into taking this route, which is the only thing any of them can think of, LBJ, to keep her from having to testify. If she does testify, LBJ, what'll happen? She'll either tell the truth and they're all going down in flames, or she'll have to perjure herself and she ends up going to jail. So LBJ, she's there in that moment. Fitz is like proposing his little heart out. You know, he's got flowers, he's got candles. Oh, we're on the balcony. It's so romantic. No, Fitz, this is not romantic. I wasn't taken away by this scene, LBJ. And in fact, it felt to me very self-serving. But Fitz did use this moment to call Olivia out. Because when Olivia was telling him no to this proposal and really saying to him, please get up off your knee and slow your roll, buddy, LBJ, what did he do in that moment? He said, you know what? You're not saying no to me because this is a functional proposal. He called her right out. He said, you're saying no to me because you're not ready. Don't put it on me and say I'm not ready. It's because you're not ready. And he said, you know what? You may never be ready. And there she was using her Olivia Fixer, snappy comeback to try to put him in his place. And he said, you know what? Answer my question. Will you marry me? LBJ, she would not answer. She would not say yes. She would not say no. LBJ, he walked away and left her right there on that beautifully decorated balcony. And he said, that's what I thought. You're not ready. Don't blame it on this situation. You weren't ready for this commitment. And LBJ, it was so good because when LBJ, she was there trying to, think through this. We saw Olivia needing LBJ. Oh, is someone there?
Yes, someone's here. It's the local fact checker. Hi, I'm your local fact checker. You were just wrong with something that you just said, Janaya. You said that it said to
Oh God.
will you marry me? And I thought you were going to get this right because I was like, I know Janaya is watching this part right here. She's
Oh no.
notating this.
What did
Janaya,
I do?
the quote was he stopped her. He said, Olivia, I will not let you walk away from me.
It's
He
so
simply
good.
asked her this, and this was a powerful moment, I
Yes.
think, for the character of Olivia Pope. He asked her, he said, what is it that you want?
Mm.
That was the question that fits.
You're right. Oh
Olivia.
gosh. Oh gosh, LBJ, you're completely right.
And Olivia was completely speechless because I feel there's so many layers to this woman. She does not know. She's just going through life without any kind of direction at all. And I'm going to take a moment and put a quarter in the meter and take a little 8-minute parking break, okay? And I'm going to say that because
Please do.
time
It's so
and
good.
time again on this show, I've on this scandal recap, I've said that Olivia needs a mentor. You said it as well, Janaya. Olivia needs someone that she can talk to. Bring back
Mm-hmm.
Marla Gibbs. Let her cry
Please.
in her bosom like Iyanla makes people cry in her bosom
Please.
on Iyanla
Please.
Fix My Life. Not Kerry Washington. Olivia Pope needs
Yes.
that. She needs that kind of release. She needs that direction so she can identify clearly in her
What
life
she
what is it
wants.
that she wants. And that's
Yes.
what Olivia Pope cannot do. I feel that she will always
Oh.
be addicted to Aretha Franklin songs and Nina Simone songs if she cannot identify. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you notice, whenever Olivia's going through something in her life, we always hear
Mm-hmm.
Aretha or Nina.
Yes.
Tonight, we heard Ain't No Way
Ain't
when that
no
entire
way.
scene played out on the Truman balcony. That's all I
Yes.
want to say about that moment, John.
Let me just say,
I have
yes,
bolded notes on my iPad for
so
that
good.
very moment right there. Okay, local fact checker's gone. Bye bye.
No, bye, fact checker. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it when you come through
It's like
because
PBS. You know,
LBJ.
on PBS on like Barney or something like, bye, storyteller, bye.
LBJ, if that fact checker had not come through, we would have remembered this important moment. I am so happy for fact checker Bob that he came through today. LBJ, Olivia having no actual friends, no girlfriend, no mama, no Iyanla. Who does she go to, LBJ? Who does she go to try to sort through her feelings?
That was so funny. That was so funny. Goes to
LBJ,
her bestie, her new semi-bestie BFF, Jake. Like that's who
oh
she goes
gosh,
to.
it's so sickening. And you know what? Jake did exactly what I wanted him to do. LBJ, let me just say, when she called Jake in that moment of indecision, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Oh, I don't know if I want to marry Fitz. I think that some profanity escaped my lips here in this apartment. And LBJ, for you, when you're sitting alone and you cuss out loud, something has really taken you aback. I could not believe that Olivia picked up that phone and dialed those numbers to call Jake. She is so selfish when she does that. But you know what? Jake gave it to her real good, didn't he? He said, you know what? I'm hanging up.
He
LBJ,
did.
he hung up on her. And that was exactly the right thing. You know, he has been struggling to create a boundary. And you know what? She has loved it, LBJ. She has loved him being in his valley of indecision because she wants him there. That's her little comfort space. LBJ, he came to her rescue last episode and brought her a burger and some fries. He, he drew the line this time. He said, "You're calling me to discuss the potential marriage to him?" I'm hanging up the phone. And LBJ, he did just that. And I have to call out Coffee Light and Sweet in the chat. She said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Olivia, and this is in all caps, stop calling Jake. Full stop. He's been really nice about everything so far, but one day he's going to flip out on that next call. Watch. Coffee Light and Sweet. I think you're completely right. You can't keep poking a bear. And that's exactly what she's doing, LBJ. The other person that she kind of went to talk things through was Gabby Abby.
Mm-hmm.
And LBJ, I got to hear your thoughts on their relationship right now because I have such mixed emotions. I feel like Olivia has not been a good friend to Gabby. And Gabby Abby is just kind of like making herself available or somehow forgiving her. But Olivia going to Gabby Abby again, to kind of talk things through. What do you think of their relationship right now?
I stand firm to what I've been saying these past few episodes this season about Gabby, Abby Red, and Olivia, and that's they've got a dysfunctional sisterhood that's developing here. They've had moments of atonement with each other. They've had opportunities to really share and kind of break bread. Remember, they're in separate entities right now. They're still working together, but not directly together. So in these
Right.
different entities that they've got opportunities to just be their selves, but they still have that sister girl time. And I think that sister girl time is what we've been seeing them share. And Olivia is needing Gabby Abby Red like never before. And I think that Abby is trying her best to play it cool and play it safe with Olivia. Number one, to protect herself because she's been hurt by Olivia before, but
Mm-hmm.
two, to be there for the one that she still considers friend and sister. But three, also make Olivia feel safe because she
Sure.
knows Olivia has issues feeling safe. That's my
Mm-hmm.
take on their relationship throughout throughout their discourse tonight on the show. I mean, Olivia told her, she said, "Look, I'm going to go on that stand. I'm going to stand sit for that committee, and that same table where Anita Wilson sat and talked about that hair on that cola, and I'm going to sit
Yeah.
there and perjure myself. I'm going to lie. I am going to lie." Olivia didn't say the whole thing about Anita Hill. I just threw that in there, but she said, "I'm going to lie,"
You're paraphrasing. You're paraphrasing. Yeah.
exactly. And she says, essentially, "I'm going to lie." And she said, told her, "No, you cannot do that. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
lie." She said, "I'm going to lie. The only other opportunity I have to get out of this is to marry him." And she didn't really want to marry him. Another opportunity that presented itself, you were going to say something, go.
Yes, LBJ. And in fact, when she was talking to Gabby Abby Red, and this was an important moment, when she was talking to Gabby Abby Red about the fact that she only had two options, one to perjure herself or to marry Fitz, she compared marrying Fitz to going to jail. She
Mm.
kind of said, you know what? I can go to jail over here and actually be behind bars with your mom and dad, probably behind bars, or you can be in this other kind of jail. There have been several episodes this season where Mellie has compared her life as the first lady to that of the life of a prisoner. And so we kind of revisited that theme a little bit. And Olivia just kind of said, there are two losing options here for me. I thought it was really interesting that she was calling life as the first lady, life with Fitz. She literally did a hand gesture to the bed that she and Fitz are currently sleeping on. And LBJ, she called it jail. She called it jail, LBJ. I just thought that was a really, really important moment. And you know who else LBJ was feeling a little bit bound to the White House this episode? It was who? Vice President Susan Ross.
Oh, yes.
Okay, LBJ, she was so delicious in this episode. And
Perfect word for her. Perfect word. Yes,
just
yes.
yummy. She's just yummy. I just want to like put a little bit of apple butter on her and eat her up. She's so delicious.
You've been a
LBJ,
Cracker Barrel lately. You've been going to Cracker Barrel lately. That's what that sounds
only,
like.
only in my dreams. In my dreams. LBJ, here she is. We see her not somewhere near Fitz, not somewhere in the White House. We see her hanging out with David Rosen. And she comes into David Rosen's office and she basically said, are there any political, what did she say? She said, you
She
know,
said, no, this is what she said. She goes like
yeah.
this. She says, "Hi." "Hi. How you doing?" And then he's like, "Hi, how are you? What's going on?" And then she goes, she's like, and how weird was that whole thing? That was so weird. I was like, does she have like a girl gushy crush on David Rosen? Like, what is it? And then she's like, yeah, like, is there like a way, like, like, could I legally like resign from my job?
Oh,
And David Rose was like, "What? You want to quit? Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, LBJ, thank you so much for that because
You have to put that little random scream in it. That was strange.
what was that about? And when that moment happened, I wondered if that was written in LBJ or that was that actress just being so deeply into that
It's
character.
the latter. It's the latter. She's so good when she plays. I
She's
think that
so
she had
good.
it and they kept it. It was perfect.
Yes, she's so good. We saw so much random from her as she's exploring this potential resignation. David Rosen says to her, you know, you want to resign as president? They have a couple of different scenes where she and David Rosen are talking this through. And OJ, in addition to her little cackle, you know, she finds herself feeling a little rebellious. in this discourse. And
Yes.
what does she do? She says, I'd like a wine cooler. LBJ. And the way that she said it, you would have thought she asked for crack cocaine. Okay, I don't know, like some illicit drug. LBJ, she's like whispering, like wine cooler, like it's some horrible thing. You can get them at every bodega on my block, which there are 97 of them, and they cost $1. So she just was so excited. LBJ, she asked for a wine cooler and she's kicking back and she's talking it through with David Rosen. And David Rosen, he really did kind of a fixer speech on her. I have to say, little hats off to him. I mean, he kind of said to her, you want to resign, but why would you? And she finally admitted that it was because she didn't think that she could be president.
Yes.
And what did David tell her? He said, oh, but you can. And he said, you might actually be the best person to be president because you are someone who actually thinks they can't be. He said, all the people who walk around Washington so sure that they can do the job are the people who do it most poorly, are the people that give him pause. He really built her up, LBJ, and she didn't resign today.
No, she didn't. They had a full-on wine cooler summit in David Rosen's office today. It was so good. She did not resign. Susan Ross did not resign on this episode of Scandal. There was no need. There was absolutely no need for her to resign. Janaya, can I take a moment and make a turn and go down another street right here?
Let's do it.
I am itching to do
I know.
this.
I know. It's time. It's time, LBJ.
So this episode, we started talking about Sally Langston providing the narration for all these things going on. Well, at the top of the episode, guess who we see? If you haven't been watching the entire time, if you're just tuning in to see what's going on, we see the one and the only sitting at a table in the jail, in the bowels of the justice system.
In the bowels.
The one and only Rowan Pope.
I love it.
We haven't done that in a long time.
I needed that to come back.
Oh my gosh. I have missed Rowan Pope so much.
Yes.
All of this narration from Sally is going on. Rowan is sitting at the table with one Elise. I think her last name is Martin. I don't see it in my notes now. But
I think her last name is Boo. Because I believe that we renamed her last episode.
That's right. Elise Boo. Yes, Elise Boo.
Her name is Parisian Boo.
Parisian Boo.
That's right.
Yes. Her name, you're right. Her name is Parisian Boo because somebody in the chat actually brought that up too. They put hashtag. Somebody said something about Parisian Boo in the chat. Anyhow, so Rowan Pope is talking to Parisian Boo in the bowels of the justice system in like the common area, like come meet your loved one. And she's like, okay, this is going to be your escape plan. You are going to take this plan and everything is going to be okay. Rowan wholeheartedly takes this thing, loosely used, and says, okay, fine. Next thing you know, Rowan Pope goes to take this plan and he walks into the laundry room and the guy's like, hey, yeah, just go get in there. And Rowan's like, huh? What? He's like, look, you either get in there now or you spend the rest of your life digging a tunnel to get out of here under my supervision. Rowan's like, okay, let me walk over to this cart and get in here to make my escape with this one random man in here. There's nobody else in here. He goes over, the man takes out his billy club. He knocks Rowan in the back of the knees. Rowan goes, ugh! And Rowan Pope, I put this man in his 60s. Rowan Pope, the character. Yes. Rowan Pope and all of his Rowan Eli Popeness, in all his power and commandness, he takes this young strapping man on and takes him down. This man he had made an attempt on Rowan Pope's life. Rowan Pope said, not today, not tomorrow, not ever will you do this. And I'm going to see to it. I'm going to take your billy club and strangle the life out of you. And before I kill you, I'm going to let you know that I know that the laundry truck left this place 2 hours ago. You're not going to pull a fast one to me. Farewell, give up the ghost. And Rowan killed the man in the jail cell. But this man is so good. This man is so bad. Come with me. I'm going somewhere, church, because you know I love a Rowan Pope. Rowan Pope goes into hiding. He goes into protection in the jail cell. In the jail. He doesn't go into solitary confinement. No. Rowan Pope could not do that. what Rowan Pope does is finds a way to get arrhythmias, and he fakes arrhythmias every 12 hours so that he can stay under supervised medical care in the jail. And Rowan Pope, while under supervised medical care, starts he starts reaching out to all these B613
Yes.
people who still exist, okay? So we already know that Parisian Boo is B613 and probably Lazarus 1. We know that Quinn and Huck are still out there, and Jake are still out there, as well as Tom. Tom is still out there as well. So he reaches out. Who does he reach out to first, Janiyah?
First person he reached out to was Jake, our favorite.
And what did Jake do? What did Jake say?
Jake went down there and he sees him, and he's there at the jail, and he's talking to the jailhouse staffers, and he's like, "Why are you calling me? You know, I'm no relation to this man." And he said, and the jailhouse staffer said, "Well, you're one of two people that's ever come here to visit him. It's you, and then also Parisian Boo." Oh, LBJ. Jake, blinders ripped off. Once again, Jake, there is no love for you. No one is choosing you once again. This woman here, we didn't trust her. Jake there, he's been beckoned to the jailhouse by Eli Rowan Pope, and come to find out that he's been betrayed, LBJ, by Parisian Boo. So the next person that Eli Pope calls on is
say it. Quinn Robin Lindsay, honey.
She was third because he called his daughter next.
Oh, that's right. He called his daughter in the presence of Marcus Walker. Olivia takes the call in front of Marcus after she briefed the gladiators before they went into the hearing. And she takes the call, and she's like, "Hello, Olivia. This is your father." And he talks to her, and Marcus looking like, "Oh, wow, she just shifted into a whole new realm of personality. I've never seen this before." And she takes the call, and she hung up the phone. And Marcus is like, "Who was that?" She says, "Oh, it was no one." And then who does he call tonight? Say it. I'm not saying it. You say it.
I don't recall. Hashtag Senate Judiciary Committee. I don't recall.
So here's the thing. He ends up calling. I'll say it with pride because I was a bit premature in my mention. It's Quinn Robin Lindsay. He calls Quinn. Quinn takes the call in front of Huck. Huck is like, "Who is it?" And she hears who it is on the phone. She says, "Oh, it's Charlie." We know it's not. Oh, Charlie's still out there as well. Charlie's still out there too. She says it's Charlie. She takes the call from Charlie, and the next thing you know, Quinn is walking into the room at the jail, to the hospital room, and he talks to her.
Really strange. That interaction was really strange.
To me, Janiyah, again, this goes back to my whole notion of Quinn growing up on this show. It was very mature of her to walk in there and to see Rowan Pope laying in that bed and to handle him the way that she handled him. She said she is not going to get him out of there. Point blank, period, no comma. That's it.
Why did she go? That's my question.
Because remember, why did she go? She went because she, in her mind, she is the number 2 for OPA. Everyone else would have been number 2 is gone, so she's got to still prove herself. She's still living in that I want to be number 2 role. Hence her going to the jail cell. To see Rowan. But then she learns something there. And then Quinn goes to Olivia's apartment to check on her. And when she goes to check on her, she finds out all this different stuff. I forgot what their dialogue was prior to this moment. But when she goes there, she also lets her know that she has a plan to get Olivia, to save Olivia from marrying Fitz, as well as testifying before the committee. And we find out that Quinn has prompted Olivia to go and visit her father, who she has not seen in a very long time. And she goes to visit her father to figure out a way to make it all right. And Daddy gives her a way to make it right. What does Daddy say to her?
Well, just before we get there, LBJ, let's just go back to this scene with Olivia and Quinn talking in her apartment. There was something awry there, LBJ, and it's already been discussed in the chat.
Oh my God!
The couch.
Have I not been talking about the couch tonight?
Jackie O 2006 said that wine-stained sofa pillow is still missing in Liv's apartment. LOL. Everyone in the chat is just wondering, can we please get her a new couch.
Yep,
Anyone.
Glenda Wyndham says the same thing. Could somebody please buy Olivia a new sofa? Everyone's talking about this. Let me tell you that I've said this before, and I will say it again. I even tweeted about it. I said, "Sidebar, everybody, pay attention. That sofa cushion is still missing. The wine when Olivia was kidnapped, that she spilled wine on the sofa. I cannot remember who had it removed. Was it Huck who had it removed? Someone had it removed to be
I
clean.
think it was Huck or Jake, maybe.
Yeah, and it has not been returned. It has not been
Mm-hmm.
returned for a reason. That's going to come back and mean something.
Mm-hmm. And LBJ, let me just say, it's pretty hilarious. Okay. Well, and it also, to me, is symbolic. I think it's
Mm.
symbolic of the general disarray of Olivia's life. You know, she's there in this perfect little apartment. I mean, there's nothing out of place, right? Everything is white and off-white and gray, and it's so clean and so feng shui, LBJ. But there's a cushion missing. And it's just, to me, it's so symbolic of her life right now. It's symbolic of her emotional state that, things just seem to be really great on the surface with Olivia at all times, but it never is. This woman is dealing with so many demons and so many challenging relationships. You just, again, you want her to find Iyanla because she needs LBJ. There's no way she's going to get that last mental cushion back until she finds a real friend. She needs real support, somebody with no motive, someone who's not going to feed into her savior complex like Fitz does and all of these people do. She needs someone who's just going to be a support, LBJ, or she's never going to get that cushion back.
I agree. I agree 100%, Janiyah. Very well put. I totally did not see the symbolism there or was thinking about the symbolism. I'm thinking, what does this cushion mean to the plot? But that you bring up a very, very, very good point that this symbolizes so much in Olivia's life. And
So
think
much.
about it. How much, and this might be like an early takeaway that you offered us, but how many times
Mm-hmm.
in our lives, is something physically messed up or missing
Yes.
when it really, when you look inside, reflects something else that we need to pay attention to. Very,
Yes.
very, very good point
Mm.
of scrutiny there, Janiyah. That was very good.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
that.
thank you for letting me go on that tangent, LBJ.
That was
And
great.
you had actually taken us to one of the climax points of the episode. And that is when Olivia, prompted by Quinn, does go to see Eli Rowan Pope. And she
Mhm.
goes marching in there, and I don't know what these prisons are up to nowadays because I just feel like people are coming through.
You know what it is? It's all that mass incarceration that's going on. That's right. I said it. It's the mass incarceration. Prisons are overcrowded, people.
LBJ, I'm like, this is just like the Truman balcony. I mean, where's the security? People are just in and out. To me, they're just certain. These are the moments where we just lose reality just a little bit in this show. But Olivia, there she is, traipsing into the White House into the prison, into the bowels of the justice system to see her father.
Going hither and thither, Janiyah.
Hither and thither, to and fro. And LBJ, he's laying there in this hospital bed, faking arrhythmias, so he can stay in the hospital bed, so he can stay alive. And he says to her, "Get me out of here. Someone's trying to kill me." And she says, "Oh, I'm not going to get you out of here, sir. No way, no how." And then he says, "Well, I'm paraphrasing. He says, "Well, you know what? If you get me out of here, I've got something for you." He said, "All of those B613 files that you think you've destroyed, you burn them in the furnace. Well, guess what? I've got them right up here in the old noggin." Okay, he said, "I know everything about everyone in that Senate Judiciary Committee. And if you will get me out of the bowels of the justice system,
Wow.
I will get you out of this mess." And it was just so crazy because we're right now back to that notion, that principle, that fundamental truth that we uncovered when we first met Eli Rowan Pope. And that is that command is always in control. The man is there in jail, in the hospital area of the jail, and he still holds all the cards, LBJ.
He
Still
does.
holds all the cards.
He holds all the cards. That man sat there. First of all, you still can't take down command. He said that earlier in the show. That man tried to take him down. You couldn't take him down. And then Olivia's like, "What's wrong with you? Like, what are you doing?" He says, my heart is a little irregular right now." She says, so this is the monitor. She's like, "Your heart is just fine." And he's like, looking up from the bed all sick. He goes,
made his heart erythmatized. I don't even know what that is.
Janaya, this man flatline. Wait. What? Flatline.
What in the
He
world?
was there like this. He was like, he said to her, she said, you look fine. He said, my heart's a little irregular. He goes, woo!
LBJ, I mean, you
so
had
funny.
to let him drop the mic in that moment because that was so beast mode.
Oh
You
man,
know,
it was.
he's just gonna tell his heart what to do. Okay, I think the rest of us, if we wanted to change the pace of our heart, we need a treadmill or something.
So
All he did was lay
people are
back,
buying Apple Watches to people are spending hundreds of dollars
trying to figure out
and
what's
Roman
going
Pope
on.
can do it on command. No pun
On
intended.
command. LBJ, he just leaned back. But you know what? I love that they do that because you know what? He's always he's portrayed so much as a mastermind.
Yes.
You know, he's portrayed so much as the guy that's pulling all the levers. But this episode, you know, really gave us some insight into the fact that he wasn't just commissioning training for B613 warriors. He is a B613 warrior.
Absolutely.
He took that security guard out quick, fast, and in a hurry. And then he showed us that he has control over his heart, LBJ. He's not just a mastermind. He is a B613 warrior.
He is a B613 warrior, and he is also known as someone else to some other people in the cast of Scandal, Janaya. I mean, like, let's look at this thing. So we see that, I'm sorry, I laughed and like, I have my contacts in, and I think I got some eyelashes in my eyes. I don't know why my eyes laughing. But so Rowan is talking to Olivia like, look, Daddy can fix this for you. Just get Daddy out. She's like, Daddy, I don't want to get you out. I don't know if I can do this. But no, she's a little indifferent. And so all of a sudden, there's this meeting with Olivia doing her sashay down the hallway.
She walks so hard. She really does.
Walking, and she's got her hair pulled back like, I mean business right now. Yeah, I'm going in there. And then who does she meet up with in the tunnel in the bowels of the White House? She meets up with the current sitting First Lady, Melly Grant. She goes to Melly. Before she goes to Melly, she has this moment where she's like, oh, shoot, I can get my dad out by getting Melly to forge her husband's signature because she told me years ago that she can sign the president's signature. So Olivia meets Melly in the bowels of the White House, and she says, hey, listen, I need you. I have a way I can fix this. There's someone that's in a federal prison right now. He just needs the president's signature for a release. Why don't you sign the president's signature and you get this man out so he can help us figure out what we need to do to shut down this committee. Coffee Light and Sweet gives us the perfect segue there and says we have to talk about the tunnel confession when Melly found out who Damascus Bainbridge is and who murdered her son. Both were the same person and father of Olivia Pope. I think I floated from my body when I saw that. So in this scene, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not watched the show, or if you did watch it and we are just recapping it with you, we see Melly and Olivia break down who this person is that needs to be released. Olivia comes clean because remember, all could be lost here, right? Because we've got all this scandal that could come out, pun intended. They have to testify. And so Olivia says, look, this is who the person is. She hands her the file. She opens up the file. She sees the picture of Eli Rowan Pope. And she says, oh, no, not this person. Olivia says, well, this person is, I know who this person is, interjects Melly. This person is Damascus Bainbridge. Cue frown in Olivia's eyebrow area right here. And Olivia goes,
a ridiculous
name. Right.
Damascus Bainbridge. Don't you see how he's taunting them with that name, LBJ? It is a ridiculous name. Okay, Damascus Bainbridge. Oh, he made fools of them that day. He made fools of them, LBJ.
He did. And so Olivia is like, well, no, this isn't. She said this man posed as a donor and tried to get information from him, and he got the information from those jurors, and he was responsible for the death of those jurors. He killed those jurors. And Olivia's like, OMG, my daddy killed some more people? Oh, great. Well, she's like, well, Melly, guess what? His name isn't Damascus Bainbridge. His name is Eli Pope. and he's my father. And
Mm.
Melly is just like, oh, oh. So she stunned Melly at this time. And so stunned Melly is going through the entire scenario, trying to live through the entire thing. And she's like, no. She surmises, I'm not going to release this man from prison. He's a murderer. Blood is
Mm.
on his hands. It's not on my hands. It's on his hands. He did this. He's a mean man. He's a bad man. And you, his golden child, of course you want your father out. So you can have him, this murderer, and you can get my husband. Absolutely not, Olivia Pope. You will not, you shall not, you better not even ask not anymore. And then Olivia's just like, okay, well, guess what, Sugarfoot? This man killed your son. He killed your son. And Melly goes over to she leaves an EpiPen because she's having a reaction at this point.
She really is.
And she's like her throat's closing up. She can't breathe. She's hyperventilating. She goes over to the wall. What does Olivia do? Drops the mic and walks off and leaves her in the bowels of the White House. How inappropriate was that?
LBJ, well, first of all, Zoe Mills said it in the chat. Bellamy Young played that role tonight. Melly is and always will be my fave. You're so right, Zoe. She played the heck out of that role tonight, LBJ. I mean, her reaction in that episode as Olivia started to peel back the onion about who her father was. I mean, her face, LBJ, her mannerism, the scathing words that she delivered. There was a point in that exchange where she said to Olivia, I despise you. I despise you. That is what she said. And I will just say she played that scene so well. Once again, your heart just goes out to Melly. Not a friend in sight, okay? No one to help her. I mean, she's once again at the mercy of, she's the victim of yet again. And LBJ, you asked me what I felt about Olivia walking away. You know what? That's all she could do. You know, Olivia had, from my perspective, a lot of nerve. She had a lot of nerve going to Melly to ask her to take this yet another loss for the team to protect them all. And Melly started out the conversation with a lot of posture, kind of saying, you know what, I'm done. You know, nothing that we could possibly do right now is going to save my career. There's no way. There's no way. And, you know, and of course, Olivia trying to fix the situation. She tries to just make the case for how, you know, releasing her father and ending the Senate Judiciary Committee investigation will help them all. And slowly but surely, we're starting to kind of see Melly come around. But then she pulls back again. And she says, you know what? I'm not going to be a part of this. And then it would have been great if Olivia had just walked away at that point, already leaving Melly to be reminded of the guilt of participating in the deaths of those 17 jurors. Olivia could have just left right at that point, but she didn't. She took this selfish move and unburdened herself, LBJ, and explained that her father was the one who killed Melly's son. You know, it just, to me, it felt very selfish. And when Olivia walked away, I said, well, good. About time. Get out of this tunnel, girlfriend. I'm sick of you. I was mad at Olivia, LBJ. I thought it was very selfish.
So here's what I thought. I thought that, so because Candace, my wife, asked at the same time, she said, why did she do that? Like, why did she tell her that? I felt she had to reveal to Melly who her father was, really, Janiyah, so that she could get her to understand, listen, I'm putting it all out on the table for you. I'm trying to help you understand who this person is, how powerful he is, what he has created, and what he has the capacity to do. If we get him out, he will protect us and make sure we'll be good to go. And she's kind of left it there as food for thought for her and said, all right, I'm going to drop the mic and walk away. I figured people probably had differing views on that moment there. Yeah. I'd like to hear what some of you have to say as well. You put it in the Q&A or put it in the bottom of the YouTube comments once we're off the air if you're just watching it. Then let's talk, though, about that great transition that Sally Langston gave us when we came back from the commercial break. And prior to that, though, we saw Melly and Fitz after that conversation with Olivia when she learned who killed her son. We saw a conversation with Melly and Fitz in the White House dividing their assets, right? And they're dividing the assets. Fitz says we're going to divide the assets 50-50. And they go through all the stuff they're going to break down. And then Melly starts really having this. Yeah, we see Melly focus on the word custody.
Heartbreaking.
In the decree. And she's sitting there and she looks at it and she says, you know what? There's something else that I want. And I want Saturdays. He's like, what about Saturdays? I want to be able to go visit Jerry without you being there. He said, okay, fine. You can do that. I don't care. I also want to run Jerry's foundation. I'm not going to have any opportunity to do anything else in politics. So I want something. I want to be able to run this foundation from the foundation named for my child. He's like, okay, fine, whatever. Just sign the paper. Melly uses the power of the pen. She signs the paper. And then she has a moment. She has the greatest moment of epiphany I've ever seen on this show. Hats off to Bellamy Young. She deserves it. They need to submit this episode to the Emmy committee for consideration because Bellamy Young played everything for this episode. She had one of the best monologues after Fitz said something to her. Is that all you want? That's right. You don't want anything else because there's nothing else left. And Melly goes, deep voice Melly comes in. She's like, what did you say? What did you say? Her voice got real deep.
Yeah.
And she goes in and she's just talking to Fitz and she's like, oh, what do you mean? I want to hear you say it. Oh, what? You can't get it through your teeny little head. What you said. And then she's going on and she starts talking about what she's been forced to do. I'm like, uh-oh. She's going to do it. Uh-oh, she's going to say it. When she used that word forced, I'm like, this is foreshadowing. We're going to see something. She's going to say something she's never said before. He's going to learn something. How is he going to react? And Melly reveals so much of herself to her husband like she's never revealed it before. She even says, I had to stomach you and your father on top of me. Fitz had to face that for the first time. His reaction sucked. The entire time, completely inappropriate. You could have at least consoled the woman, man. Like she was forced. Your father forced herself.
Now, LBJ, I think we need to get just to see if Fact Checker Bob can stop by for just a moment. Fact Checker Bob, can you come in? Why, I'd be happy to. Because LBJ, this was not actually the first time that Fitz heard about the fact that Melly was raped by his father.
That's right.
That did come up before. And I hope someone in the chat can remember the specific details. But if I recall correctly, I believe that Olivia was the one that ended up revealing that to Fitz. In one of her moments of almost getting Fitz and also being the reason that she doesn't get him. One of those moments where she was forcing Fitz back into Melly's arms for reconciliation. I think she was telling Fitz about some of the ways that Melly had sacrificed for him. And I believe Olivia spilled the beans on the rape. So this is something that Fitz and Melly had covered. But you know what? One thing that Melly said in this conversation that she had not said before is that, Fitz really does have a way of trying to be blameless in situations. And we've seen this many times, and he needed to be called out, LBJ. She said, why do you always do that? Why do you find ways to make yourself the innocent person in the situation? And she had to list out for him all of his transgressions and the ways that she had supported him. And LBJ, this scene to me was so heavy. I mean, these people were signing their divorce papers. This is the end of a marriage. And a marriage, I don't care what anybody says, a marriage, when you went into it, your plan was to make it forever. That was your plan. And when a marriage ends, even in anger and in frustration, like it was in this situation, LBJ, you're still letting go of a dream that you had, that you felt so strongly that you made a lifelong commitment to it. And there in that scene, LBJ, do you know what Melly said? And this was really important.
Are you gonna go? I think you're gonna say about her life.
About her life.
Yes.
LBJ, if you have the exact quote, you take it, because I was going to paraphrase.
Yes, she said, so Melly's going on and on. I'll paraphrase up into the line. And she says, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done that. I would not have had children if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have been married if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have had to stomach you and your father on top of me if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have to be the first lady if it wasn't for you. My life would have meant something if it wasn't for you.
You got
Boom.
it. You got it. You got it, LBJ. And did anyone else recognize the similarity in her speech to Olivia's speech from last episode? The
Mm.
last episode, a reporter asked Olivia, "Do you regret this affair?" And do you know what Olivia's response was? Olivia's response was, "Well, you know what? I regret having met Fitzgerald Grant. Because if I hadn't met him, I would not be in this situation. All of my relationships, all of my accomplishments would not be in question." LBJ Melly gave that exact same speech tonight.
You
She
are so right.
basically said, if I had never met you, my life would be glorious. I had a wonderful trajectory ahead of me. And because of you, I am here in the White House signing divorce papers, talking about custody and visitation to my son's grave. It is because of you. LBJ, for them to have those two women give this that similar monologue, just an episode apart. I mean, we're really, and in that same conversation, talk about Fitz wanting to be blameless all the time. I think that they are just drawing some really important lines here for us about the fact that, so much of what is toxic here, we push at Olivia and Fitz. But at the end of the day, Fitz is the common denominator. And
Mm.
those two monologues really highlighted that.
That was good. In AP English, we'd call that parallelism.
Mm. Happy somebody was listening in class. Excellent.
But listen, so Kat Harlem on the event page tonight confirms the rape mentioned to Fitz. You're right, Janiyah, is what Kat Harlem says.
Thank you, Kat Harlem.
About the rape to convince Fitz to stay with Melly and run a second term. Thank you for that clarification, Kat Harlem. So then, in a twist of events, we come back from the commercial break, and Lovers of Liberty, Sally Langston is there, and she says, "Ooh, Lovers of Liberty, can you sense the anticipation? In just 4 hours, Olivia Pope will enter into the room and testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee." And then she said, "Oh, can you feel it? Can you taste it?" She's like really egging this
on, right? Oh, she was loving it. She was loving it, LBJ.
She was. Oh, man. Then we cut to Susan Ross back with David Rose. And David Rose was like, "Hey, listen, look, wine coolers are great and everything, but listen, you have an opportunity to resign if you'd like. All you got to do is submit the paperwork to the president." And like the episode takes a turn, and like the roller coaster takes off in these last like 20 minutes of the show, right? So Susan Ross gets the news from David Rosen that she can resign. Just send your letter, you can tender, and you're out. You're no longer the vice president. Sally Langston segued us into Susan Ross because she's like, "Susan Ross, are you ready? Susan Ross, are you ready to take your rightful place in the world as the president of the United States of America? I hope you are, because I was first." Oh, it was so good. Then we go from Susan Ross, then we cut to Olivia about to become the first lady of the United States of America in a ceremony marrying Fitz. Olivia's got her good black girl pinup on her wedding day. You know how y'all used to get the pinups back in the day.
Had her prom hairdo ready to go.
Right. Looking like she's ready to go, like she was in that movie where she was the dancer. What was it, Say the Last Dance or something like that?
Yeah.
Like the character going to prom. Anyhow, Olivia's there in her white, and Cyrus is reading to her all the things she's got to stop doing, and she has to really deliver upon becoming the first lady, and she's got to do it really quick. And Olivia's like, "Can I make this turnaround? I'm not sure." Oh, boom, phone rings. Please hold for a call from Senator Melly Grant. Olivia's like, Melly Grant, what happened? what do you think happened tonight? It's pretty obvious what happened.
LBJ, let's just really dig into what was happening right in that moment. Olivia was there about to sign up for jail, LBJ. She was about to sign up for jail. She was about to marry Fitz, become the first lady of the United States of America. And literally, LBJ, she was handing her phone over to the Secret Service. Let me just say, that was the last piece of her identity, her non-president wife identity that she had. And they said, "Ma'am, we're going to have to take your phone." I mean, she was seconds away from letting go of that last piece of her former identity. And Melly called LBJ. And it turns out that Melly has had yet another revelation. And she's gone through with it, LBJ. She forged Fitzgerald Grant's signature and pardoned Eli Pope. He is no longer in jail, and he has, in fact, orchestrated a moment, a spectacular moment, a moment that only command could orchestrate, LBJ. The Senate Judiciary Committee convened. Oh, we're so special. We're taking the president down. Look at us. We're doing such a super great job. No, you're not, because who walks in? Some random little girl. She's handing them each an envelope that's full of what? Evidence of their indiscretions, LBJ. Command, literally with manila envelopes, has shut down that entire investigation. And they call it off immediately. And the next thing we see is not Olivia saying I do. The next thing we see is not Olivia testifying. We see Olivia back down in that secret tunnel with who? Melly.
Mm-hmm.
Because Melly has taken that route where before she was rejecting it because she felt like she was going to be the loser. But she had a revelation and she said, you know what? All of this time, Olivia, I've spent so much time hating you and thinking of you as my enemy, but you were actually my freedom. And she basically said, I'm going to parlay this. I'm going to parlay the heck out of this. And she had to her left not only Eli Rowan Pope, she had who? Our best buddy,
Tom
the Invincible.
Tom the Goon.
The Invincible. Is he dead? No, he's not. Where he at? Tom the Goon, standing there to her right. And she said to Olivia, you know what? You're going to make me president of the United States of America. That was it. LBJ, that's it. The only thing that could have happened, that could have ended this, to stop this from happening tonight, would have been for Parisian Boo to be successful. We discovered early in the episode that while it appeared that she was working with Eli, she was the one who had tried to orchestrate his death. She failed miserably, but she was there on behalf of who, LBJ? Lazarus One. We still don't know, or do we know? I think we do. Who is working Lazarus One, LBJ?
So real quick, part of my prediction tonight, Lazarus One, my number one stunner for this is who? The one and only.
Gotta be.
Hey, Livy. Maya Pope. It is Maya. The whole motive of Lazarus One, ladies and gentlemen, is to kill Eli Pope. Jake said to Elise, to Parisian Boo, he said, who are you working for? She said, I don't know. All I know is that the mission is to kill him, take him down. Boom. Number one stunner, Maya Pope. Go, Janiyah.
LBJ, she's there to take him out. Her plan to kill him in the jailhouse, it fails. So she's now talking to Jake. Jake has revealed that he has figured out her identity. He's basically said to her, the jig is up, girlfriend. I thought you were my number one, but you ain't. You're here on some kind of mission. And she reveals, I was here to kill Eli. I still have a plan that I'm executing. Jake, having yet another realization about the fact that Olivia is gone, okay, and that she continues to call him like a friend, keeps playing him to the left. He's fresh off of that anger, fresh off of that revelation, and he signs up to work with Parisian Boo to take down Eli Rowan Pope. He says, where are we going? And they decide that they're going to meet up at Union Station at 3 p.m. the next day. And that was deep, because that was how their lives went awry the last time. They were supposed to meet up at a train station 10 years ago when they were happily married to run off and live their lives together. That didn't pan out. LBJ, Jake goes to meet Parisian Boo at the train station because they're still going to execute a plan. But guess what? She's there, but is she breathing? She's not. She is taken out, LBJ. And who do you think did that? I think we know. Command. Command is always...
Wait, here's Parisian Boo. Here's Parisian Boo.
LBJ, what was she doing? Can you show us really quickly one more time? LBJ, she was dead and gone out of here. And so that was the only plan. Lazarus One was the only thing that could have stopped all of this from playing out. and clearly that didn't succeed. So that's where we left things at the end of the episode. This was a very full episode.
Mhm.
LBJ, you gave us one prediction. Do you have anything else or a takeaway?
Hey, listen, so Lizzie Bear DeGeneres is allegedly gone. I feel that we are going to see her one more time in the
Mm.
season. I predicted that her character would die this season. She's gone. I said that she'd be gone. So she's definitely gone out of the White House. I don't know if she's gone for good because she's not off. She's got to be off. Like there has to be
Mm.
closure to that situation before she knows too much, right? She's been there. She knows too much. We don't know if she signed any kind of non-disclosure agreement, whatever. We need to find out what's going on there. We also need to figure out who Lazarus One is. Once we figure out who
Mm.
Lazarus One is, I predict that we will probably go to a winter break. You know how Scandal gives us that
Yes.
somebody will die. Camera click, camera click, camera click, camera click. You know how they give us that? Then they like go to hug
Oh, torture. Yes.
yeah, exactly. So we'll figure out the whole Lazarus One thing, and somebody will die before the winter break, potentially. That's one. This another prediction that I have. Outside of that, I can't. I don't have any other predictions. I think next week we're going to dive deeper into the storyline because the whole goal now is for us to figure out why they want to kill Rowan Pope. And I think that we're going to see a lot of flashback and we're going to figure out some of the other nuts and bolts to who Rowan Pope is, but also continue to learn why Olivia does what she does. Remember, at the top of the season, I said we're going to learn a lot of why Olivia does what she does.
Mm-hmm.
We're continuing to peel back those layers of the onion of Olivia, and we're going to see what happens with her. That's what I've got.
LBJ, that's so good. And your prediction, your track record is so great. So LBJ, I don't have a prediction for next episode specifically, but I will just say that David Rosen got Susan Ross so pumped up to be present to take her place. And we now see at the end of the episode that Melly's super pumped up as well. I mean, is there going to be some epic battle between these two later down the line? Also, is Susan Ross as peachy as she appears to be? I mean, she's so stuck on stupid. Is that real? I don't know if it is, LBJ. And you have to remember the last vice president that we had. What is his name? He's now a vegetable somewhere. Whatever.
Oh,
Andrew.
Uncle Andrew.
Uncle Andrew. LBJ. We didn't suspect him at all. We
No.
didn't suspect him at all. We just thought he was literally Boo Boo the Fool, super dumb, Millie's boo thing on the side. We didn't take him seriously. And he turned out to be a major player last season. So all I have to say is something's coming up between Susan Ross and Mellie. And I
But
don't
you know what's coming up right now, though? That good round robin. It's about time for it.
Oh
Oh,
gosh. Oh, it's past time, LBJ. And the round robin is so good because there's so much good in the chat
it
right
is
now.
so heavy tonight. There's like 80 comments in here that we need to try to.
It's so good. LBJ, we're gonna have to we gotta roll. We gotta
I'm
roll
doing
tonight.
Zoe email. Number one, Zoe email. That was so funny how they threw Harrison under the bus. Yes, Zoe email. It was very funny.
We all miss Dan Blakemore in the chat. He's saying, thanks for the love and appreciation, Yolanda. I missed y'all last week, but I had to travel. We missed you, Dan. Welcome back.
D Heel, I am here for the wine cooler hashtag Bartle and James hashtag Seagrams. Oh yes, hilarious.
Oh gosh. Anna Hopeful said Team Susan and David. Hashtag SUVID. I love it.
Dan Blakemore, hanging up on Liv was the Christian thing for Jake to do. Hashtag Jesus saved her life. Hashtag hallelujah.
Coffee light and sweet. Man, listen. Tonight, Mellie got her groove back and Liv became servant to Mellie. ... Again. Deep sigh.
One of the things that we missed during the sisterhood scene in the presidential bedroom, Candace Brown brings up, Abby couldn't even sit down in the presidential bedroom. She was so uncomfortable. She started naming the presidents and then why. She slept in that bedroom.
LBJ, let me just quote right now Dan Blakemore. He is talking about something that I actually am not super aware of. Apparently online, there's an obituary of Harrison. I don't know if guys are aware of this. D Hill says in the chat that there's actually a place. I guess if we all can just look on Awesome Lovey's website, there's going to be an obituary of Harrison Wright. We have to check it out. So D Hill highlights that for us in the chat, and everybody's having a revelation about it. You bet believe I'm going to be on Awesome Lovey's website to check that out.
So Janiyah, it's so good. I've seen it, and like Bishop Jakes did the eulogy. Like it's a real like obituary that they made up. You should definitely go check it out. It's really, really good. It's really good. So Yolanda Baker, LBJ, you were spot on. Thank you so much. About Elise, that girl can't be trusted. Even Papa Pope could see it. Papa Pope saw it, and he put a bullet in it. Okay, he took her out.
Yes, and Idon Matrix was confirming what I had said, which is that yes, it was Olivia who revealed Melly's rape to Fitz. Thank you so much for that, Idon Matrix.
D Hill, Daddy Pope is no joke. Hashtag Daddy Pope is no joke. Y'all know I love Rowan Pope.
You do. What did you call him before? And it made us all feel really sad for your wife, Candace. You called him your mentor.
I did. I called him my mentor.
That's not a great mentor. So Coffee Light and Sweet says, sidebar fashion commentary. Did not Olivia look simply stunning? Did not Olivia look simply stunning on her hashtag fake wedding day and that awesome white suit, bag, and sleek hairdo with accessories? She did look quite fresh and quite clean.
Her hair was real shiny though, like she just got out the salon.
Even her makeup, I mean, she looked great. She did.
Olivia looked like a few of the girls from Detroit, Michigan, Cass Technical High School, class of '99, that went to prom with their hair pinned up like that. I'm sorry.
She looked great.
Oh man, everybody's still talking about the cushion in Olivia's apartment. Kimmy J says, "Don't sleep on the wine coolers." Y'all love some wine coolers, huh?
So good. And I don't want to reveal a truth to the world right now, which is that I have some in my refrigerator. I don't want the world to know that. LEJ, the Jackie O 2006, we saw Cray Cray Rowan tonight. He scared me so bad, I had to rewind it 3 times. He looked demented. Love him. Oh, that man, that actor. Oh, he just kills it every time.
Every single time. Jackie, I so wish we brought you into the hangout so that you could actually say that, because when you deliver your commentary, it's so good. We got to get you back in here. Zoe Emile, Parisian Boo got what was coming to her. And then Ida Matrix Janiyah says, preach, Janiyah, about Melly. Preach!
And D Hill's reminding us, don't forget about Charlie, a.k.a. Papa Goon's disciple. He's still out there, LBJ. Did he play a role somehow tonight? And what played out?
Maybe he took down Parisian Boo. We don't know. He might have taken down Parisian Boo.
Maybe he did. Thank you for calling that out, D Hill.
Yeah, Coffee Light and Sweet agrees with Candace Brown. Candace Brown, yes, I was Fitz on that one. I mean, really, Olivia. They're truly a couple. He let her have it, and then she needed to hear him have that moment. That is in response to a comment that Candace had when she says, I was happy to see Fitz finally exercise his backbone with Olivia when she turned down the proposal. He said, I have things I should be doing. I should be in the sitting room. Then he left her standing there. Good for him, finally.
LBJ, Anna Hopeful has a really interesting prediction in the chat. She said that Lizzie Bear will end up at Pope and Associates with Harrison Jr., also known as Janiyah's baby daddy, Marcus. That would be super interesting. I would actually love that, because I liked Lizzie Bear DeGeneres on many an occasion.
Oh my gosh! I think this is the last one I'm gonna have here. Oh no, there's two more I want to say. One is from Kimmy J.
Good. There's so many. So we're so over time.
Says, I married a whore.
So good. LBJ, we have to call out right now Zoe Emile. She raised that question. What do you guys think about our good old VP and her chat with David Rosen? Thank you for calling that out, Zoe. That was a pivotal moment. That was a pivotal moment for the character of Susan Ross.
It was a total pivotal moment. I think also we need to, thank you, D Hill. D Hill says, glad LBJ is feeling better. Yes, I'm feeling much, much better. And someone else, D Hill, you were on it. Take us to church, right, Reverend LBJ. I'll collect any offerings that you have. Thank you so much. Here's what I want to pull up from Yolanda Baker. I agree, LBJ. Olivia had to drop that bomb. But what I didn't understand is why that changed Melly's mind to do it. Release the man who killed her son. Remember, Liv never mentioned anything about B613 and all that stuff. I didn't see that about B613, Yolanda Baker. You're right. Well, no, she did. She did mention something about B613. She said, my father ran a secret intelligence agency for the federal government. She told her that when she revealed that was her father. She did mention that. She didn't say B613 proper.
LBJ, I think I found the perfect one for us to wrap on. There's so much good in the chat right now. It is so hard not to read every single one. But Dan Blakemore raises a good question. Isn't it interesting that both Fitz and Melly regularly end up with no real friends and out in the pouring rain read Donna Summer's MacArthur Park, hashtag meant to be together, hashtag who else really wants them? Thank you for saying that, Dan, because the question is the Fitz Melly saga really over? We'll see. Perfect way to end the round robin, LBJ.
We'll find out. That wraps up the round robin. That wraps up the Scandalous recap. We're so glad you all joined us. I'm Larry. This is Janiyah. We will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to set your clocks back an hour. Get an extra hour of sleep. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. We love you for watching.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, and make sure you hashtag Scandal Recap. Tell a friend, repost a link. We thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.